Hey there! Welcome to Body of Mind, where we simplify complex financial concepts to help you live your best life. You know that feeling when your bank account is looking good, you've got no problem paying those bills, and you can actually treat yourself to something nice once in a while? Yeah, that's financial stability, and it's something everyone deserves to feel. Today, we're diving deep into how to achieve exactly that. Whether you're just starting out on your financial journey or you're looking to level up your financial game, I'm going to walk you through actionable steps you can take to build a solid financial foundation. We're talking about simple, practical advice that you can actually use, no matter where you are in life. So if you're ready to ditch the financial stress and start building a future you're excited about, buckle up. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's get started. Before we jump into the how-tos, let's define what we're actually aiming for: financial stability. Now, this doesn't mean being a millionaire or living some lavish lifestyle. It's about having peace of mind, knowing you're in control of your money. It's about being able to cover your basic needs without constantly stressing about whether or not you can afford that next meal or unexpected bill. You know, the essentials: rent or mortgage payments, groceries, utilities, transportation, the things you absolutely need to live your life. Financial stability also means having a safety net for those unexpected curveballs life throws your way. Imagine your car breaks down or you need an unexpected medical procedure. These things happen, and having an emergency fund can be the difference between a minor inconvenience and a major financial setback. But it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. Financial stability is also about having the freedom to pursue your passions, invest in your future, and enjoy life without constantly worrying about money. It's about saving for a down payment on a house, taking that dream vacation, or retiring comfortably. Think of it like this: financial stability is the foundation upon which you can build the rest of your life. It's about having your finances in order so you can focus on what truly matters: your relationships, your passions, and living a fulfilling life. Now you might be thinking, Graham, this all sounds great, but how do I actually get there? That's the million-dollar question, and the good news is, it's totally achievable. It all starts with understanding the fundamentals of personal finance, which might sound intimidating, but I promise it's not as complicated as you think. Alright, let's get real for a second. Before you can start building a solid financial future, you need to know where you stand right now. Think of it like going on a road trip. You wouldn't just hop in the car and start driving without knowing your destination and planning your route, right? The same goes for your finances. You need a clear picture of your current situation so you can set realistic goals and create a plan to achieve them. The first step is to figure out your net worth. Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. Your net worth is basically a snapshot of your financial health at this very moment. It's calculated by subtracting your liabilities, what you owe, from your assets, what you own. Your assets are things like your savings, investments, and any property you own. Liabilities, on the other hand, are things like student loans, credit card debt, car loans, or mortgages, anything that you owe money on. Now, calculating your net worth might seem a little intimidating, but trust me, it's easier than you think. You can use a simple spreadsheet, a budgeting app, or even just a pen and paper. The important thing is to be honest with yourself and account for everything. Once you have a clear picture of your net worth, you can start to identify areas where you can improve. Next up, it's time to track your cash flow. This means understanding where your money is coming from, your income, and where it's going, your expenses. Start by writing down all your sources of income, your salary, any side hustles, or passive income streams. Then, go through your bank statements, credit card bills, and any other records you have to track your expenses for the past few months. Now that you have a good grasp of your current financial situation, it's time to create a budget. I know, the B word can be a bit scary, but trust me on this one. A budget isn't about restricting yourself or living like a monk. It's about taking control of your money and making it work for you. It's about aligning your spending with your values and goals. One popular budgeting method is the 50/30/20 rule. It's a simple framework that allocates your after-tax income into three main categories: 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and debt repayment. Needs, as we discussed earlier, are your essential expenses. Wants are those non-essential things that bring you joy. And the last 20% is for securing your financial future. This includes building your emergency fund, paying down debt, and investing for your long-term goals. Now, this is just a guideline, and you can adjust the percentages based on your individual circumstances and goals. For example, if you're focused on paying down debt quickly, you might allocate a larger portion of your income towards debt repayment. The key is to find a system that works for you and stick to it. Remember, creating a budget is just the first step. The real magic happens when you consistently track your spending and make adjustments as needed. Chapter 4. Build an emergency fund. Life is full of surprises, and let's be real, they're not always good ones. Your car could decide to take an unplanned vacation to the mechanic, or you could face unexpected medical bills. These things happen, and when they do, you don't want to be caught off guard. That's where your emergency fund comes in. Think of it as your financial safety net, your financial shock absorber. It's a stash of cash specifically set aside to cover those unexpected expenses that life throws your way. Having an emergency fund can be the difference between a minor inconvenience and a major financial setback. Now, how much should you aim to save in your emergency fund? A good rule of thumb is to have 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses saved up. This means if you lose your job or face an unexpected financial hardship, you'll have enough money to cover your essential expenses for several months, giving you some breathing room to get back on your feet. I know, saving that much money can seem daunting, especially when you're just starting out. But trust me, it's worth it. Start small if you need to. Even if you can only manage to save $50 or $100 a month, that's still progress. The key is to make saving for your emergency fund a non-negotiable part of your budget. Chapter 5. Manage debt wisely. Debt is like that annoying friend who always seems to show up uninvited and overstay their welcome. It can be a major drag on your finances, preventing you from achieving your financial goals. But here's the thing about debt. Not all debt is created equal. There's good debt and bad debt. Good debt, like a mortgage or a student loan, can actually help you build wealth over time. Bad debt, on the other hand, is the kind that weighs you down and keeps you stuck in a cycle of paying off interest. This is typically high-interest debt like credit card debt or payday loans. The first step to managing debt is to understand what you're dealing with. Make a list of all your debts, including the balances, interest rates, and minimum payments. Once you have a clear picture of your debt landscape, you can start to formulate a plan of attack. There are 2 popular methods for tackling debt: the avalanche method and the snowball method. The avalanche method focuses on paying down your highest interest debt first. This approach saves you the most money on interest over the long run. The snowball method, on the other hand, focuses on paying off your smallest debts first, regardless of interest rate. This method is all about building momentum and staying motivated. Which method you choose is a matter of personal preference. The most important thing is to find a strategy that works for you and stick to it. Chapter 6. Invest for the future. All right, let's talk about putting your money to work for you. Once you've got a handle on your budget, built your emergency fund, and started tackling your debt, it's time to level up your financial game and start investing. Investing is one of the most powerful tools you have for building long-term wealth. It's about putting your money into assets that have the potential to grow in value over time, like stocks, bonds, or real estate. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Investing is risky, or I don't have enough money to invest. And while it's true that all investments carry some level of risk, the stock market has historically trended upwards over the long term. And when it comes to not having enough money, the truth is, you don't need a ton of cash to get started. Thanks to fractional shares and low-cost index funds, you can start investing with as little as a few dollars. One of the most important concepts to understand when it comes to investing is compound interest. Compound interest is essentially the snowball effect of investing. It's when your earnings generate more earnings, and those earnings generate even more earnings, and so on. The earlier you start investing, the more time you have for compound interest to work its magic. Even if you can only afford to invest a small amount each month, the power of compound interest can turn those small contributions into a significant nest egg over time. Your journey to financial stability starts now. Building financial stability isn't about becoming a millionaire overnight. It's about making smart choices consistently over time. It's about taking control of your money so it doesn't control you. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to a more secure financial future.